Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual College Fair for all Virginia students, sponsored by the Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Counselors, and by StriveScan. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. I want to draw your attention to the Q&A button on your screen. You can type questions at any time to our presenters. It doesn't have to be a question for the person presenting. You can pose questions to any of the universities on the panel, and they'll respond to your question as best they can. Your camera and microphone are turned off so the panelists can't see or hear you. So really the best way to communicate with us is through that Q&A button. So take advantage of that, ask your questions. That's why we're all here, is to ensure that you get the information that you need for your college search. Also, this is just one of many different sessions happening. So be sure to check out the full schedule at strivescan.com/Virginia. Also, this presentation is being recorded, and it'll be available in about a week on the same website, strivescan.com Virginia, as will the recordings of all of the other college presentations. So that is all I have. Without any further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. And first up, we have Ray Celeste from Salem College.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Ray Celeste, and I am from Salem College. We are a women's liberal arts college located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, so not too far from Virginia. I'm actually from Virginia myself, and I make the drive up to the Nova area in about 5 hours. So we were founded in 1772, so we're actually the oldest women's collegiate institution in the United States. You might be asking yourself, what is a liberal arts college? So to start off, it's typically focused on undergraduate education. So you'll be able to do research with your professors that at other colleges might be saved for graduate students or PhD students. You'll also get a cross-disciplinary education. And this is really great because it means you'll learn about subjects from a variety of different perspectives and lenses. And it also means you don't have to decide on a major right away. These are great skills that you'll learn, like critical thinking, and really just produce a well-rounded education that employers really value. Now you might be asking yourself, why a women's college? There are several reasons why you should choose a women's college, if for a lot of you, but two of the main reasons are: first, graduates of women's colleges earn on average $8,000 more per year than graduates of co-ed colleges, and they're more likely to enter male-dominated fields like math, science, and pre-med than women in co-ed colleges. About Salem specifically, we are ranked the #3 liberal arts college in North Carolina and number 24th in the country. We're ranked 10th in the United States for social mobility, so it's a really good investment in your education. We have a student body of under 1,000 students with an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of 12 to 15 students. So this is likely a smaller class than you're getting in your high school. 42% of our students identify as women of color. We have 100% acceptance rate into law school of our recent graduates, and a 90% acceptance rate into medical school and health-related graduate programs. Like I said, we are a liberal arts college, which means that you will take classes in a variety of different disciplines, but regardless, you'll be able to choose from many of these different majors for one that you'll really focus on. So just because you'll be getting all of these different classes, it doesn't mean you won't have a focus. We also have tons of opportunities for learning outside of the classroom. 100% of our students complete internships, and we have service learning courses. We also have cross-registration at Wake Forest for no extra price, so you can get the benefit of a really small school without sacrificing all of the opportunities for classes that might not be available at a school our size. We participate in Division III athletics, so if any of these are interesting to you or you'd like to play, please contact our coaches. And we have plenty of activities and student organizations for a really vibrant community. My colleague Lauren is going to talk a little bit about admissions requirements now.
Hey, everyone. I'm Lauren. I'm in our admissions office. Our application process is very straightforward. For first-year students, all we need is a submitted application, as well as your official high school transcript, a teacher recommendation, and a writing sample. We are test optional, so you are no longer required to submit your test scores, and we are free on the Common App. I know a lot of people have questions about scholarships and financial aid. We do offer very competitive financial aid awards. So we do have our merit-based scholarship, which is half tuition each year if you have a GPA of 3.25 or above and you're a first-year student, and that does include early college. If you come to us as a transfer student and you have a GPA of 3.25 or above, you're eligible for a $12,000 merit scholarship per year. We also have a couple of specific scholarships. We have our Davis Art Scholarship, and that is full tuition for students who are studying art, art history, or design. There is a separate application for the Davis Art Scholarship. We also offer music scholarships as well, and we do require auditions for the music scholarships. If you're interested in the music scholarship or the Davis Art Scholarship, we do need you to apply by December 1st. And then we also have need-based scholarships available, and all you need to do for that is just make sure that you complete your FAFSA. And there are lots of different ways that you can connect with us. We'd love to hear from you, so we encourage you to just send us an email or give us a call, and you can also scan the QR code on your screen to sign up for our virtual tour. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, both of you. Coming up next, we have Kelsey from McDaniel College.
There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelsey. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at McDaniel College. I do work with all of the students in Virginia, so I will be basically your guiding buddy over the next few months or years, depending on what year you are. I did graduate from McDaniel in 2019, and I'm also from Virginia, so I'm super excited to be here chatting with you all. I'm from Chesapeake, the 757, so if anyone else is from those areas, definitely let me know. Just a couple quick things about McDaniel. We are a small private liberal arts and sciences school up in Westminster, Maryland. So we're about 45 minutes north of Baltimore and about 20 to 30 minutes south of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. From down in Southern Virginia, it would take me about 6 to 7 hours, depending on traffic, to get up to Westminster. So it's not too bad, but depending on where you're coming from, it could be a lot shorter. On campus, we have about 1,800 undergrad students, and our average class size is going to be about 15 to 17 students, with never a maximum over 30 students. So very small, intimate class setting. There's a lot of opportunities for you to get to know your professors, your fellow peers in the classrooms. We do a lot of group work. So it's a really nice personal touch in the class. Because we are a liberal arts school, we do, similar to Salem College, as you heard earlier, we do have a kind of general education requirement plan where you're going to be taking classes in many different disciplines besides your own majors and minors. If you are undecided at the moment, I was super undecided when I first started at McDaniel, so have no fear. The McDaniel plan is definitely going to be your best friend for at least the first 2 years of college. You have until the end of your sophomore year to declare your major. So most first year students and sophomore students tend to work on their McDaniel plan before getting into their exact majors and minors. It is a pretty flexible plan. We don't necessarily say, all right, everyone needs to take generalized 101 type of courses. Each category that you fulfill has about 30 to 40 different classes you can pick from, really all on your own personal interests and passions that you have. We do encourage multiple majors and multiple minors if you are feeling ambitious. So definitely check out our website for all of our different programs that we offer. Alongside the McDaniel plan, we also have our McDaniel commitment. This is our guarantee to students that you will have at least 2 experiential learning opportunities at some point during your 4 years as a student. This is basically any opportunity where you're able to get outside of the classroom and really get some hands-on learning rather than just sitting in the class and taking notes and tests and quizzes, because most of your jobs will not involve any of that by the time you're graduating. So just some examples: internships, study abroad. We have a campus over in Budapest, Hungary. A lot of students like to go study at. Service learning. Some of the classes that we offer are experiential learning just because there are built-in internships or just built-in group projects that are outside of the classroom. So a lot of different ways to fulfill that requirement, and there's going to be plenty of resources to help you navigate and figure out what those opportunities are going to look like for you. Within the McDaniel commitment, though, there are a couple other steps or checkpoints, as I call them, during your time as a student. So I would really encourage you to check out the website for more information on that. But the overall idea here is to make sure that you are getting those experiential learning opportunities. On campus, we have about 85% of our students living there physically. So as someone who came from Virginia up to Maryland, I never felt like I was being left alone. We're not a backpack school by any means. And the area around campus, I consider to be pretty suburban. Depending on where you're coming from, you may say it's a little bit more rural, but you know, usually if there's like a Starbucks or a Dunkin', Panera, I usually typically say it's pretty suburban. We do have a really cool Main Street community right off of campus as well. So a lot of local shops and coffee shops and restaurants to explore. But then, like I said, on the other side of campus, some of those main chains, college necessities, if you will, live on the opposite side. As far as student engagement, there are a ton of ways to be involved, and we really encourage students to stay involved and do some things outside of the classroom. We are a Division III school, so we have about 24 varsity athletic teams, about 80 plus clubs and organizations from all across the board. We do have Greek life as well. Performing in visual arts, we have a gorgeous theater with a smaller black box theater down below. And then, of course, like any other institution, we have a lot of fun traditions and events almost every single week. Just a little bit about our admissions and aid. So we're on the common application, and then we also offer our own McDaniel application. There is no priority treatment one way or the other. Whichever one is more convenient for you is going to be more convenient for us. I think it was 2016 when we did become test optional, and we are 100% purely test optional. So if you do not submit your scores, it is not going to have any effect on your admission, your merit scholarship consideration, honors consideration, or anything. So I usually say save the $12, but if you would like to submit your scores, you are more than welcome to. We are offering on-campus visits as well as virtual visits right now. So if you make one of these types of visits before you apply, that does qualify you for our visit incentive program of $1,000 per year. So $4,000 in total. We have a couple of Discover McDaniel days, as we call them. They're big open houses. Unfortunately, this year we'll have to do them on Zoom, but they are based on different academic fields. So we'll have one on the STEM programs, the arts and humanities, the social sciences, and then we'll end with the campus community where you'll hear from some different resources. We do have a couple different deadlines. I'm not going to run through all the dates with you. You can take a look at the website, but no matter when you apply, we try and get you a 2-week decision turnaround. Here is my contact information. Like I said, I work with all Virginia students, so I will be your go-to. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. And coming up next, we have Jordan from the University of Missouri.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Moore. I'm the Regional Admissions Representative for the University of Missouri, or most commonly referred to as Mizzou. That is our nickname. Here on campus, we do have a little over 30,000 students total. So we are a good-sized campus. We do house Tigers from every county in Missouri, all 50 states in the US, and more than 120 countries. So we do have students coming to us from all over the world, which makes it very exciting to be on campus here in Columbia. We are in Columbia, Missouri, and if you don't know anything about Missouri, it's essentially the middle of the state. Our two largest cities are going to be St. Louis and Kansas City, and they're both on either side of us. Both are about an hour and a half from campus. So we are right smack dab in the middle of those two major cities and 30 minutes from the state capital. There are a little under 117,000 people that live in Columbia, plus our 30,000 college students. So it is a good sized college town, nice suburban area, tons of restaurants, live music venues, tons of festivals. If you're big into outdoors, lots of biking, hiking, swimming, anything you could imagine there with all of our parks around. My favorite thing about downtown Columbia is the fact that it backs right up to our campus. So very easy when you're on campus to head on into the downtown area. If you want to grab lunch, go shopping, whatever it is, it's very walkable. So although we are a large campus, our downtown is right next to our campus and everything is very, very walkable for our students, which is awesome. We do have over 300 academic programs on our campus, so a lot of things to choose from. Those are housed in 13 different schools and colleges. So some of our larger programs are going to be our True-Last College of Business, our College of Engineering, our School of Health Professions, our School of Nursing, and our School of Journalism. We are home to the world's oldest and first school of journalism. So that is something that students know us for and seek us out. But we have lots of other phenomenal programs as well. We are also one of 6 universities to house a medical school, law school, and veterinary school all on one campus. So we do see a lot of graduate and doctorate students that want to come to Mizzou. You do not have to know what you want to major in. If you want to come in undecided, that is totally fine. We have our Discover program for our students that maybe need a little bit of extra time to figure it out. And that's going to provide you with some extra classes as well as an extra advisor to help you discover all the majors that we have to offer here. Here at Mizzou, you'll hear us utilize something called the Missouri Method. And what we talk about when we say the Missouri Method is learning by doing. We want our students to be out there and active and actually participating in their field of study, whether that's through practicums or clinicals or any kind of extracurricular activity that you're interested in. We want you to graduate not only with a degree from Mizzou, but also a professional working resume. I think one of the best examples of that on our campus is going to be our NBC News station, KOMU. We are the only university to own and operate an NBC News station on our campus, completely run by our students and faculty in the journalism school, 365 days a year, broadcast to all of mid-Missouri. So that's just one example of the way we utilize the Missouri Method here on campus. Some success rates we have for you. This year we boasted our highest retention rate at 90%, which for a university of our size is outstanding. We also have a 92.7% successful career outcomes rate, meaning students are graduating, obtaining a job, or going into graduate school within 6 months of graduation from Mizzou. Fun fact for you, we are home of the original homecoming, so we did invent homecoming. So if you love celebrating homecoming at your high school, you'll definitely love celebrating homecoming at Mizzou. It is a month-long celebration, the whole month of October. So currently, it is homecoming month for us. And lots of fun events, parades, blood drives, canned food drives, all culminating in our homecoming football game. We are in the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, so one of the best, if not the best, athletic conference. We do have 20 Division I NCAA sports on our campus, and it definitely adds to our school spirit here in Columbia. If you're looking to apply, we know this year is kind of a different year for everybody. So we do have our traditional application process, and then we do have a test optional process for our incoming class of 2021. So when you're applying to Mizzou, we're going to need an application, whether that's through our website or the Common App. We do not care. We will need your official high school transcripts sent directly from your high school. And then if you're applying with the test score, we will need your SAT or ACT sent directly from the testing agency. If you're applying test optional, instead of sending us that test score, we will then require a personal statement and a resume, and we'll review your application holistically that way. For scholarships, we do have automatic merit-based scholarships for both my students applying with test scores and without test scores. So don't worry, we have lots of money to give away for our merit-based scholarships. One thing I always like to talk about with our students, especially our out-of-state students, is we do have a residency program here in Missouri. Missouri is the easiest state to gain residency in. What that means is you can come to campus, live on campus in your freshman dorm, establish residency in the state, during that 12-month period, your first year here at Mizzou, and then become an in-state student and pay in-state tuition for the remainder of your time. That is going to save you $17,000 a year in tuition. It's a phenomenal program that you're really only going to find here in the state of Missouri. Like I said, my name is Jordan Moore. I'm the regional admissions representative. So I do live out here in Virginia, originally from Virginia. So I work with all of our students out here. My email is pretty simple, askjordan@missouri.edu. So please feel free to reach out to me, and go Tigers.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And up next, we have Aaron from Longwood University.
Whoops, wrong screen. 1 second, guys. All right, so hey everyone, my name is Aaron Sims. I am the admissions counselor for Longwood University. Today I'll be talking about Longwood for a quick second for you. We are actually located right in the heart of Virginia. We are Virginia's third oldest public university in the state of Virginia. We are public liberal arts school. We are relatively small. We have about 5,000 undergraduate students on campus total. We also have a series of graduate programs as well. So you may see our graduate students, in between classes or maybe even on the weekends. We're pretty small, so our class sizes on average are about 18 students per class. And also learning will always take place on a personal level, so classes will never surpass 25 students per class. We are primarily female at Longwood University. 70% of our students are female, 30% are male, and we have about 20 different countries represented on campus today. Academically, we have about 100 different programs for our students to consider amongst our majors, minors, and concentrations. Among those programs, some of our top programs are actually, or more popular programs will be education, nursing, and business, but we're also pretty popular within the social sciences as well as kinesiology. On campus itself, students are always going to find tons of opportunities to really get involved. We have over 175 different clubs and organizations for our students to be a part of. And among those, you'll find different organizations like student advocacy groups, club sports, Greek life, you name it, we probably have it in some way, shape, or form at the institution. We're also a Division I school, a part of the Big South Conference, which is a smaller conference located within the NCAA. But it's very easy to get connected with our coaches here at Longwood as we are such a small school. So if you have an interest in playing one of our sports, definitely visit our athletics website and get in contact with our coaches. Housing is another special piece that makes us unique here at Longwood University in that housing is guaranteed all 4 years at Longwood. And we also have a series of apartment communities for students to live in as well once you make it past your freshman year. So freshman year, you'll primarily live on campus, but we have a lot of options for you to consider, and all of our options have been renovated within the last 15 years. The vast majority of our students stay on campus on the weekends, but because there's always so many different things to do. Want to really dive into our admissions criteria for a brief second. We are test optional for the fall 2021 school year, which essentially means that if you have not taken the SAT or the ACT, you don't have to worry about submitting any scores, but if you have them, you can still submit those scores. As you can see, these are the GPA ranges for those students who are currently enrolled at Longwood University. So we typically fall within that window. However, we do take an entirely holistic review of every single application that comes across our screen. So I want to talk about deadlines for a quick second. As I mentioned earlier, nursing is one of our more popular programs at the institution. So you actually have 2 deadlines to consider. The first being our early decision deadline, which is November 2nd. And of course, early decision typically means that that's a binding decision. So if you're only applying to Longwood University's nursing program, definitely submit your information by November 2nd. However, if you are considering other options as well as for every other major that we offer at Longwood University, you may want to look into our early action deadline. It's a a non-binding process, but we can also consider you for the Cormier Honors College, as well as additional merit scholarships, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So hopefully I've kind of sparked some interest for you. I want to talk about the application process. You can complete your applications at one of the two links that you see on the screen in front of you. We have the Longwood application, which is actually located on our website. To get there, you can go to go.longwood.edu/apply to complete, or you can also find us on the Common Application. This will be Longwood's second year on the Common Application. So we're very proud that we have made that transition, but we have two options for you to complete. Once you have completed your application, you will then need to submit your unofficial documentation so we can actually go through with that review process, primarily looking at your high school transcript. And this could be unofficial, like I said before, or if you want to submit your test scores, it's optional, but you definitely can do that. If you are interested in the nursing program, there is a mandatory nursing essay embedded into the application that you will need to complete. And if you are applying early decision, you will need to complete the early decision form. So lastly, I want to talk about cost. For in-state residents, you're looking to roughly pay about $25,930 per year to attend Longwood University, and that is an annual cost. So that factors in your tuition and fees, your housing option, as well as your meal plan. So if you cut that number in half, that's essentially what you will be looking to pay per semester. We also offer the merit scholarships that I mentioned before. Note I said merit, so this is solely based off of your academic achievement coming out of high school. There's no application process for the merit scholarship. These are the scholarships that we typically award out to our in-state students. These are annual renewable scholarships, so as long as you maintain a Longwood GPA of a 3.0 and you're taking at least 30 credit hours per year, you can maintain that scholarship. And also the only criteria to receive a scholarship is actually having a 3.0 GPA. If you have that and you submit your information prior to December 1st, then you qualify for a scholarship. We also have the Honors College Scholarship as well. As you can see, these range anywhere from $1,000 to $12,000, but you have that as an option as well if you are invited to the Honors College. And as always, if you have any questions about Longwood University, feel free to reach out to us. We are also offering in-person and virtual options, so visit the link on your screen. Take care, guys.
Thank you so much, Aaron. And up next, we have Melissa from High Point University.
Hello, everybody. Like you said, my name is Melissa. I'm from High Point University. High Point is in the Piedmont Triad of North Carolina, so we're kind of near Winston-Salem, not too far from Virginia. We are on the smaller side, private liberal arts university with just under 5,000 students. But we have 59 majors and 64 minors for our students to choose from. And on this slide, you'll see our top 10 freshman majors. And as you'll notice, undeclared is the first one on there, which is funny because it's not technically a major, but a majority of our students do come in undeclared, not 100% knowing what they want to major in, which is completely okay. We actually have a great program to help you figure out your major, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But these are just some of our most popular majors. As for High Point's campus, we have a lot of state-of-the-art academic facilities, including, but not limited to, our Human Biomechanics and Physiology Lab, which is sponsored by Adidas, and a lot of our exercise science and physical therapy students will use, as well as our Kane Conservatory, which is open for all students to use. It's absolutely beautiful. I love to go in there and just sit there and look at the plants, as well as the Culp Planetarium, which is the picture in the background, which is one of the largest planetariums in North Carolina, as well as our news and radio studios, which are for our communications and broadcasting students, and our BB&T executive boardroom, which is really for all students, because when you graduate from college, you'll no longer be presenting in a classroom style room. You'll be presenting in more of that boardroom style room. As for our education, we have a 15-to-1 student-faculty ratio, with our average class sizes being around 17. And so what's great about that is 100% of our classes are taught by faculty. So you will never take a class taught to you by a graduate student or a teacher's assistant or a teacher's aide. We also have something pretty unique to High Point, which is our Success Coach program. So every single freshman at High Point is assigned a Success Coach based off of their major, or if they're not, if they haven't declared a major, a specific success coach to help them through the process of finding their major. Success coaches are really to help our students with that transition from high school to college, because it is a big change from high school to college. They're going to help you with planning out your courses, as well as making sure you're getting involved on campus, figuring out what type of things are going to be the right things for you to get involved, but also making sure you're not overstepping it and doing too much and overwhelming yourself. Lastly is that project discovery portion, and that is our program to help students who are undeclared with figuring out what they want to major in. It's a nine-step process where you'll work with your success coach to try out classes within different majors, take some quizzes to figure out what majors you may be the most apt at, talk to professors from different majors on campus and things like that to really help you figure out what is going to be the best fit for you. Up next are unique educational experiences. So about 25% of everything that you do at High Point will be experiential or hands-on learning. Examples of that would be our access to industry leaders. So in the background of this picture, you can see Byron Pitts, who is an ABC Nightline News anchor, and he comes down to campus multiple times a year to work with our broadcasting students. We also work with Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple Computer. He works with us in the WOZ project with our computer science and computer engineering students. This past year, they built a self-driving golf cart. And then also we have, we have also work with Mark Randolph, the co-founder of Netflix, and he works with our entrepreneurship students. Then we also have undergraduate research across all majors as early as freshman year, student teaching in local classrooms, crime house, stock trading room, all on campus for our students to use as early as freshman year. As for our student life, we have 16 NCAA Division I teams. We are also in the Big South, so you'll catch us playing Longwood in a few games throughout the seasons. We also have 200 plus campus clubs and student organizations, including but not limited to fraternity and sorority life, club and intramural sports, and religious groups across campus. As for our application, we are exclusive on the Common App, so our only application is through the Common App. We have a few different deadlines. That first one being early decision, and like I said earlier, that is a binding contract. So that's if you know 100% High Point is for you. If you're not 100% sure, then I highly suggest early action, because you find out if you're accepted in December. So you have way more time to weigh your options and figure out what's the right choice for you. As for our test requirements, we've been test optional for about 3 or 4 years now. But on the bottom, you can see our averages on a 4.0 scale. Unweighted, our average GPA for incoming students is about a 3.4, and then SAT is about a 1230, ACT is about a 26. The only thing that's changed in terms of test scores this year is that our students no longer are required to have a test score for our higher level, presidential level scholarships. So we will award you scholarships upon initial consideration of your application. So every student is eligible for scholarships. And then you would get to come back to campus to interview to increase your scholarships, because we want to make sure that we're giving that most scholarship money to students who want to be at High Point. So we look at you for more than just the numbers side of you for your scholarship money. Next steps. So we are currently having in-person campus tours. They are single-family tours you can sign up for on our website. If you don't feel comfortable with that, we are also having virtual tours and virtual information sessions. We also have something called Panther Perspectives, which is a session on different majors throughout our university every Tuesday at 4. I offer admissions interviews, as well as that last one is contact your counselor. So I am the admissions counselor for Virginia, and I'll be with you every step of the way. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Melissa. And last, but certainly not least, we have Tim from Moravian College.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Tim Waite. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at Moravian College, and we are located up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So we are actually the 6th oldest college in the United States. We're founded in 1742, and we were the first school to educate women because we began educating women at that time. from our inception. And while sure that's some interesting stats, I think the thing I like to point out the most about that to students is that that just goes to show that people have seen a value and a need for a Moravian education for a very long time. And there's a reason that we are still up and running because of that value that we bring to people's education. So like I mentioned, we are located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is in the far eastern area of the state, very close to the New Jersey border. We actually have two campuses, both in Bethlehem. They're less than a mile apart. One houses, our Main Street campus houses the majority of our academic programs and dorms and athletic complex. On our South campus, the Priscilla Payne Hurd campus, houses our music and arts programs, as well as some more living buildings. We are also located near some of the biggest cities on the East Coast, including Philadelphia and New York City, both less than an hour and a half away. So being such an old college, we do have some great history on our campus. The building in the center picture, the kind of gray stone building, that was actually used as a hospital during the Revolutionary War. But we also realize that it's the 21st century, so we make sure that we are on the cutting edge of things. So that picture to the right, top right corner, that's our brand new health sciences building. And the picture in the lower center is our 3D cadaver lab, which is part of that building. That is all state-of-the-art equipment for all of our health science programs, such as our nursing major, which is a very important and competitive program on campus. Some quick facts about Moravian. We are on the smaller side. We are just under 2,000 students, and we are a residential campus, and housing is guaranteed all 4 years for our students. We offer 55 plus academic majors and programs. Some of the more popular ones, I mentioned just a minute ago, our nursing program within the health sciences is extremely popular. That is a direct entry program, which is part of the reason that it does have, is so sought after. But other programs within the health sciences are also very popular, including some of our pre-professional tracks, such as pre-physical therapy, pre-occupational therapy, and pre-athletic training. Other big programs on our campus, education is a very popular major, all levels, early child education, intermediate, secondary ed, and all the various subject credentials. It's a big program for us. Tons of teachers come out of Moravian. The last one I always like to highlight, I mentioned we have that South Campus, the Priscilla Payne Hurd campus. Our arts and music programs are very popular and a big part of who we are. So any art and music students should definitely take a look at us. See a couple more stats there. Since we are on the smaller side, we do have that really personalized educational experience with that 11-to-1 student-faculty ratio and only 17 students in the average class. We also have 22 NCAA varsity sports. I like to point out that we are adding men's and women's swimming in the fall of 2021. And while that particular sport may not be of interest to everyone, I do like to point out that we are in a very fortunate position that we are adding programs and things to our campus at a time when unfortunately a lot of schools are having to downsize and cut certain programs and things. So we're in a very fortunate position in that regard. We are also a Apple Distinguished School, one of less than 30 across the country. And what that means is every incoming freshman and transfer receives a MacBook Pro, iPad, and Apple Pen when they arrive on campus. And then they get to keep those once they graduate. And this was extremely important this last year with the move to the virtual world. It allowed everyone on our campus to be on the same footing with technology and just made that transition much smoother than it could have been. So that came in really handy this last year. Around campus, we do have tons of opportunities for internships and externships, both in the local community, but we do have huge alumni bases in those big cities like Philadelphia and New York City that I mentioned earlier. Our undergraduate research opportunities mimics graduate level work in terms of how hands-on you are with professors. We offer study abroad programs in Europe, Asia, and Australia. And those can range from just a couple weeks over the spring break to as long as a full year. We also have a summer term that's just a month long, so there's all sorts of different opportunities there. And then also want to point out that our most recent graduating class, over 98% were employed or within graduate school within 10 months of graduating. Quickly, the admissions process, we are a Common App school, and we waive the Common App fee, or we have our own application on our website, and that is also free. We have no preference, so whichever a student wants to use is perfectly fine for us. With your application, we obviously require a transcript, one letter of recommendation, and we are test optional. And as it says on the slide, that's for everyone except for nursing applicants. If you are interested in nursing, there are some requirements, and I'll let you reach out to me if you do have any specific questions about that. I'll jump quickly to financial aid. I know I'm coming short on time here. 100% of our accepted students receive merit scholarship, academic scholarships, and those range on the low end from $18,000 all the way up to $28,000. So we do everything we can to make Moravian as affordable as possible. And again, my name is Tim Waite. I am the Assistant Director of Admission and responsible for all Virginia applicants. So you will be working with me if you should decide to apply. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tim. And that brings us to the end of our presentation today. I want to thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you to the university representatives for presenting. We really appreciate all of the information you've shared. When you close your window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at strivescan.com/Virginia. And also in a week, as I mentioned before, you'll be able to find this as well as other presentations, recordings at strivescan.com/Virginia. So thank you again, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.